Let us now solve the street travel count program in Java. So to begin with, we have to accept the value of n. So now we have to accept the values of the n cross n matrix which represents the streets and blocks in it. So the input values will be 1 or 0. So we will declare and initialize a integer matrix. So now we have accepted the input values for the matrix. So next we have to accept the input values for the source and destination. That is the row index, call index of the source and the row index and call index of the destination. But before that, let us look at a concept which will help us understand what we are going to do. So now we are given a 4 cross 4 matrix. So we are going to number them from 0 to 15. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So let's take this particular value 9. So from 9, how can you get the row index and call index? So 9 by 4, okay, 9 by 4 will give you 2 and 9 mod 4 will give you 1. So this particular row and call index will be 2, 1. So you can verify that also. The row index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, okay, and call index will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So 2, 1 will be 2, 1 will be 9. Similarly, if they are giving 2, 1, you can say 2 into n. Here n is 4. So 2 into 4 plus that call index value 1 is equal to 9. You can do the reverse calculation also. Let us consider one more example. Let us consider this 7. So from 7, how can we get the row index and call index? 7 by 4 will give you row index which is 1. Okay. And call index will be 7 mod 4, 3. So this will be 1, 3. So row index is 1 and this is 3. Similarly, if they give 1, 3, so 1 into 4 plus 3 will give you 7. Please keep this in mind because we are going to point to a particular cell using these calculations. So now we are going to accept the row index and call index of source and we are going to convert it to the representation we just now discussed. So now this scanner.nextInt will give you the row index and this will give the call index. So we have converted it to the numerical representation. Okay, that we call it source. Similarly, we do it for the destination. So now we have accepted all the input values. So now we need a Boolean array to represent whether a particular node is visited or not. Node in the sense here blocks in the street. So let us declare and initialize a Boolean array. Because there are n cross n elements, the array size will be n cross n. Similarly, to keep track of the street count, we need an integer array. So now we need to initialize a queue for the breadth first search. So the queue will consist of integers. So we have used the instance of ArrayDQ. So depending on the programming language you are using, please modify the code accordingly. In C, if you are trying out, you have to have your own array based queue implementation. But to solve problems like this, we would generally prefer Java, C++ or Python. So after instantiating the queue, the first element that should be added is the source node. So let us add the source node. After adding source node, we have to mark it visited, because whatever elements are added to the queue, we have to mark it visited. Along with that, we have to initialize the street count to 0 for that particular source node. Okay, because it is the source node itself. So there is no street to be traveled. So the street count will be 0. But we need not do it, as in Java by default the streets will be initialized to 0 because it is a primitive int. Okay, so we need not do it, but if you want to do it explicitly, you can say streets of source is equal to 0. So now we are going to do the breadth first search. So we will say while queue is not empty, we will have a while loop for that. So we have polled the element, okay, because you have added only source to begin with. The first element that will be polled will be the source value itself. So for that polled node, we are going to get the related nodes. So we will call a function called getRelated to get the nodes that are on the left side, right side, top and bottom, which are connected in the same street. So let's create the method. So now in this method, we will initialize a list. So we have instantiated array list and we will be returning these nodes. But before that, we need to go left and get all the connected nodes, then to the right, then to the top and then to the bottom. You can traverse in any order, it doesn't matter. But before that, from the node value, we need to calculate the row index and the call index. So as we discussed, the row index can be obtained using node by n, that is divided by n, and node call can be obtained using node mod n. So now we need to traverse all the connected left nodes. Left nodes means it will be less than the node column. So if the value at the node row and this call is 1, because if there is a 0 going to come in between, it is not connected. At that time we can exit the loop. We need not continue with the loop. So we have to check whether it is equal to 1. So if it is equal to 1, we are adding the representation of the node, because node row into n plus call will give the representation of the node. We are adding to that. But if any 0 comes in between, right, you are going to break, because after the 0, even if you have 1, that particular cell will not be connected to this particular node. So we are breaking if a 0 has come. Now we need to traverse all the right nodes. So for right nodes, it will be node call plus 1. And call must be less than n, because it is a square matrix, right? So both capital R and capital C will be n. That is the number of rows, and the number of columns will be n. So here we say call plus plus. The rest of the code will remain the same. Now we are going to traverse all the top cells. So for top cells, we have row is equal to node row minus 1, because it is on the top. And then we are continuing as long as row is greater than or equal to 0. We are checking if it is 1 and then adding it. Whenever a 0 comes, we break. So let us do for the bottom cells. So now we are done with this code. So at the end, whatever nodes were added, that will be returned as a list. So now we come to this particular part, that is inside the loop, while loop, where we are retrieving the element from the queue and processing it. So now we are going to iterate over the related nodes. Now we are going to process all these related nodes only if they have not been visited already. If they have not been visited, add it to the queue and then mark them visited. And after that, increment the street count of that particular related node to 1 plus the street count of the current node being traversed. So now here you can check whether the destination node has been reached. If yes, you can print the output and you can exit. But if there is no path to the destination node, then obviously the number of streets to be traversed will be 0 because you cannot reach that destination itself. Okay. So in that case, you can print the value of the streets for the destination node itself, which will obviously be 0. So if a value of 0 is being printed, then it means we cannot reach from source to destination. So if a path exists between source and destination, it will be catered here itself. Okay. This particular system.out.println will not be executed at all. After printing it, you should return. Otherwise, what will happen is the count will be printed once more. So now let's execute the program. So for this, the answer is 3 because this is the source and this is the destination. So first street, second street and third street. So the output is 3. For this example, the output is 6. So source is 0, 1, which is this, and destination is 2, 1. So it is this. So to come here, first street, second street, then third street, fourth, fifth, sixth. So the program works fine. So based on our discussion, please solve the program.